It's that time of year, everyone. So basically, if you're an NHL fan, it's almost like Christmas. This is that exciting time where everyone is ready to see who is to stay and who is going. I'm going to go through the players that will most likely be traded at the deadline or in this offseason. This is just so exciting, isn't it? So, let's first talk Montreal. We pretty much all know that Patch has overstayed his welcome with the Habs. Despite being the team leader in points, Pacioretty still has a pretty unimpressive season, and especially since the Canadiens are on the downward spiral, and will be most likely to miss the playoffs. Now more than ever is the perfect time to rebuild and get ready for next season. So where will the captain end up? Most speculations have been centered around St. Louis. Even though the Blues have been linked to Evander Kane in the past, Patch is looking like the better fit for more reasons than one. Blues need some extra firepower offensively as they are looking to go on a cup run once again. If the Blues were to pursue Pacioretty, they would be obtaining a gifted goal scorer, who is going to be something more than just a rental. Another name that has been circulating around pretty much since the beginning of the season is Alex Galchenyuk. After being moved down to the third line fairly recently, Galchenyuk hasn't been able to hit it off well with new head coach Claude Julien. Like most of his teammates, Galchenyuk has been having a bit of a down year, but his 10 goals is the third best on the team, and his 23 points is tied for first overall. It's very possible that the Blues may pick up Galchenyuk as well, but with only so much available cap space, we can pretty much speculate that only one of these Habs will be new additions to the STL lineup. Both are possibilities, but in my opinion, Patch would be the all-around best fit for the team, and a lot cheaper. Even though they could use some youth, even still, I feel as if Galchenyuk would fit better on another team, such as possibly the Islanders or Pittsburgh. Both teams have been said to have reported interest, as we all know that the latter is in need of a good third-line center. But it will all come down to what these team GMs are willing to give up to get him. Now this one obviously pains me a bit to talk about as I am a Pens fan, but it has been so very far relevant this season. Chris Letang. Letang has been having a very off season, to put it lightly. After coming off an injury that had him sidelined last playoff run, the 3-year champ hasn't been able to find his game again and has been the catalyst of many trade rumors. The Pittsburgh Penguins have made star Chris Letang available in trade talks. According to DK Pittsburgh Sports' Matt Gageka. His report comes after Sportsnet's Elliot Friedman wrote that Letang's name has surfaced on the market. According to him, the blue liner has a no-movement clause on his contract, therefore he could have a choice in where he may want to go, but he hasn't reportedly made that list yet. He can choose 13 teams that he can block a trade from, and the remaining 18 are fair game. But even though the talented defenseman isn't playing to his potential, he would still have to come at a cost, with 4 years remaining on a deal that includes $7.25 million in an annual cap hit. It's hard to speculate where exactly he will go, and considering the no-movement clause, but it will most likely be a team that is currently rebuilding, and that has the extra cap space, such as Montreal, Buffalo, or possibly Vancouver. Letang isn't as likely to be traded as Pacioretty, or some other names on this list by the deadline, but I would still not rule it out completely. Another pair that is noteworthy on the market is James Neal and David Perron. Even though Vegas has had immediate success this season with the two forwards, they are most likely going to want to stay in rebuilding mode and not want to hold on to the veterans. Neal would be the most costly of the two, who has a $5 million cap hit, and Perron is not much cheaper at $3.75 million. But there has been great speculation that Neal might have a homecoming shortly with his former team Pittsburgh. I would not be opposed to this, by the way, as they are in need of scoring ability up front. If the GM Rutherford is hopeful in his team to make another long run this season, it's plausible that he may swap Letang and Neal. Not saying Vegas is going to be a destination for Tanger, but it would be in turn an upgrade for Pittsburgh offensively. This may sound risky, but just remember, the Pens won the cup last year with Letang on the sidelines. As much as I love Letang as a player, Perron is a similar case as he has been linked to St. Louis, one of his former teams as well. As I mentioned before, they are in need of some extra offensive talent as they are getting ready for the playoff run, and Perron could be that guy for them that they're looking for, if it's not Patch. But if the Golden Knights continue to have the big success that they have been, the Neil Perron trade could very well be postponed. Another possible trade candidate besides Karlsson from Ottawa is Jean-Gabriel Pageau. The 25-year-old center is one of the many players who are and will be on the trading block, no doubt, as Ottawa has been one of the worst teams this season. And according to Elliot Friedman, one of the teams that is looking hard at Pageau is Pittsburgh. And I would think that would make a lot of sense. He would be a great fit there, says Friedman. And this does make a lot of sense since the Pens have a gaping hole in their roster. After parting ways with Matt Cullen and Nick Bonino in the offseason, the Pens haven't been able to fill the void completely. Therefore, Pageau is looking like a viable option. And he has a reasonable asking price of $3.1 million per year. But even still, the Pens will need to make room in the cap if they want to make this happen, whether it be trading Letang, another expendable such as Ian Cole, or one of their draft picks. And now onto the biggest name on this list, Evander Kane. The Sabres have been actively shopping Kane for a while now. This is no secret to anyone. He's in a similar situation as Pacioretty is and Duchesne was. He's on a team that's headed nowhere fast, and he knows he's not wanted. Even though the Sabres have been the second worst team this season points-wise, Kane has still managed to shine for Buffalo, and he's on pace for his career best in points. But still, Buffalo could be asking too much for the talented winger. 4 pieces, especially of that nature in a draft pick, prospect, and 2 roster players, is a lot for any team, really, to give up for one player. We're talking what a reasonable return would look like for someone like Connor McDavid here. But even though Kane is very talented, he's no McJesus. Even still, he will be a UFA this offseason anyways. Therefore, we pretty much know he'll be sporting a new jersey next season at the latest. But who is most likely to sign him? A couple possibilities are with teams that are rebuilding and in need of an extra jolt up front. One is the Vegas Golden Knights. He would fit perfectly with the likes of William Karlsson. Or, possibly, he could be taking a move back home to Vancouver. A lot of the Nucks scoring naturally comes from the wing's position, therefore we can only assume that Vancouver would be an ideal fit for Kane, plus they are well known for handing out bloated contracts, therefore they could be the ones offering Kane the most money. Thank you very much for watching, and I'm very interested in hearing your comments about where you think these players could end up, or maybe about other players that I left out. Again, thanks for watching.